You know how fast you were going?
What?
How fast you were going.
65.
63.
The year is 2001, and a band of comedic misfits known as Broken Lizard, Jay Chandrasekhar, Kevin Heffernan, Steve Lemme, Paul Soter, and Erik Stolhanske unleash Super Troopers, a film that follows the antics of Vermont state troopers more interested in pranks than policing. This cult classic, born from a $1.2 million budget and a whole lot of audacity, became a comedy cornerstone. Behind its mustache-laden chaos lies a treasure trove of bizarre stories, from real syrup to real cops loving the madness. Let's dive deep into 20 weird facts about Super Troopers that'll make you laugh, cringe, and say, meow, that's insane. Number 1, the syrup chugging scene was a sticky, sugary nightmare. The diner scene where Rabbit Erik Stolhanske and thorny Jay Chandrasekhar chug maple syrup like frat boys at a kegger is pure Super Troopers gold. You'd think Hollywood would swap the syrup for something less pancreas punishing. But no, the Broken Lizard crew demanded authenticity. Initially, the prop team filled the bottles with iced tea, hoping to mimic syrup's look without the health risks. But Stolhanske and Chandrasekhar sticklers for realism noticed the tea lacked the thick, gluggy viscosity of real maple syrup. They insisted on the real stuff sourced straight from Vermont's finest maple tree beds. The result, multiple takes of chugging actual syrup, leaving the actors in a sugar-induced haze. In a Reddit AMA, Stolhanske confessed they went into a diabetic coma on a dark floor while everyone else enjoyed their lunch. The crew had to power through nausea and sugar crashes, with some takes ruined by uncontrollable giggles or grimaces. The scene's hilarity came at a cost. Imagine trying to deliver lines while your body screams for insulin. It's a testament to the troops' commitment to comedy, even if it meant sacrificing their blood sugar levels. That sticky dedication is why fans still quote Lighter or Cola with reverence. Number 2, menthol madness left actors in tears, literally. Those bloodshot, stoner red eyes in the John Chimpo cartoon scene. They weren't CGI or makeup magic. They were the result of menthol blown directly into the actors' faces. The makeup team used this old-school trick to achieve that authentic, just smoked a pound look. And it worked like a charm. The actors' eyes watered instantly, giving them the perfect baked vibe. But the menthol saga didn't end there. In another scene, Rabbit gets stuffed into a locker and slathered with shaving cream. Unbeknownst to the crew, the shaving cream was laced with menthol for extra realism. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. Menthol burns like hell when left on skin too long, and Erik Stolhanske learned this the hard way. After the scene, he was in such agony that he sprinted to a nearby firehouse where firefighters hosed him down like a human car wash. The crew was clueless about the menthol's potency, and Stolhanske's impromptu dash became a set legend. It's a stark reminder that Super Troopers' pursuit of comedy sometimes meant real pain, proving the cast's dedication to the bit was as intense as their pranks. Number 3, Brian Cox's soap was a diabetic disaster. Brian Cox, the Shakespearean titan, playing Captain O'Hagan, chomps into a bar of soap while berating his troopers, spitting sudsy fury. But that soap, it was white chocolate, a prop choice that sounds sweet but turns sour fast. Cox, a diabetic, wasn't told about the sugar content. Expecting a neutral prop, he bit into a sugary shock, his face contorting, not just from acting, but from genuine surprise. The crew later revealed Cox was furious not for the taste, but for the health risk. In a 2018 AV Club interview, Jay Chandrasekhar recalled Cox's professionalism shining through despite the mishap. He nailed the scene suds and all. The incident became a set anecdote, with the crew scrambling to apologize to their star. Imagine a legendary actor fresh off dramatic roles, blindsided by a confectionery curveball in a low-budget comedy. It's the kind of chaos that defines Super Troopers' unhinged spirit, where even props could spark drama. Cox's ability to roll with it cemented his status as the film's grumpy, lovable anchor. Number 4, the opening scene was born from a real drug-fueled panic. The film's iconic opening, where troopers terrorize college kids into eating their stash, is a masterclass in escalating absurdity. But it's not pure fiction. It's rooted in a real-life incident from Steve Lemme's past. Lemme, who plays Mac, shared on a podcast that the scene drew from a trip to Canada with friends. Crossing the US-Canada border in a Winnebago, they were stopped by a border guard who found a joint. One of Lemmy's pals in a panic ate an entire bag of mushrooms meant for 10 people to avoid arrest. The result, a 2-day trip that left him in another dimension, as Lemmy put it. Broken Lizard spun this into comedic gold with Jeffrey Aaron's character frantically gobbling drugs while the troopers cackle. The scene's manic energy feels exaggerated, but knowing it's based on a true story makes it wild. It's a perfect example of how Super Troopers mined real-life chaos for laughs, turning a friend's bad decision into a sequence that has fans quoting Snosberries decades later. Number 5. Heffernan's parents were blindsided by chicken fucker. The chicken fucker scene where Farva Kevin Heffernan hurls insults at a hapless couple is a fan favorite for its crude hilarity. But the real kicker, the couple was played by Heffernan's actual parents who had no idea what they were in for. Heffernan convinced his mom and dad to cameo pitching it as a fun, harmless role. He conveniently forgot to mention the raunchy dialogue. When the cameras rolled, his parents' shocked reactions were 100% genuine, as they hadn't been prepped for Farva's unhinged outburst. The crew erupted in laughter, and the moment became iconic. Heffernan later admitted on a Super Troopers 2 press tour that his parents were good sports, but you can imagine the awkward Thanksgiving chats afterward. "Hey Mom, Dad, thanks for being in my movie where I scream profanities at you." It's a quintessential Super Troopers story, irreverent, personal, and just a little mean-spirited in the best way possible. Number 6. Mustaches were a hairy commitment, real or fake. The troopers' mustaches are as iconic as their pranks, but not all were grown organically. Some Broken Lizard members, like Jay Chandrasekhar, grew their own to embody their Vermont trooper vibe. Others, pressed for time or cursed with patchy facial hair, relied on prosthetics. These fake mustaches were a logistical headache, requiring meticulous application to avoid looking like dollar store disguises, especially in close-ups. The crew's obsession with mustaches wasn't just cosmetic, it was a symbol of the troopers' quirky brotherhood. In a 2018 interview, Steve Lemme revealed that the mustaches inspired the prequel idea of Super Troopers 76, which promised even shaggier lip fuzz. Whether real or fake, the mustaches became a cultural touchstone, sparking fan costumes and even mustache-themed merchandise. It's a bizarre detail that underscores Super Troopers' attention to character, proving that sometimes a little facial hair can steal the show. Number 7. Real cops embraced the chaos and saved Lemmy's hide. You'd expect real police officers to roll their eyes at Super Troopers' portrayal of law enforcement as prank-loving clowns. Instead, cops loved it. At a Sundance screening, Utah State Police approached Steve Lemme saying, "You captured it." They confessed to pulling similar pranks during downtime, like messing with motorists for laughs. Years later, Lemme got a taste of real trooper karma when he was pulled over for driving 120 mph. The officer, a fan who called himself Mac after Lemmy's character, let him off with a warning and a selfie. This bizarre connection shows how Super Troopers struck a chord with actual cops, who saw their own boredom-busting antics in the film's hijinks. It's a wild twist that a movie about incompetent troopers became a badge of honor for some real ones, proving its humor was more universal than anyone expected. Number 8. Brian Cox chased the role like a comedy bloodhound. Brian Cox, known for intense roles in films like Manhunter, didn't just stumble into Super Troopers, he begged for it. A lifelong Jerry Lewis fan, Cox was desperate to flex his comedic muscles after years of playing villains. He repeatedly contacted Broken Lizard, pitching himself for Captain O'Hagan. Jay Chandrasekhar told AV Club that Cox's persistence was a shock. He kept calling us saying, "I want to do this." The troupe, initially skeptical, was won over by his enthusiasm. Cox's gravitas grounded the film's absurdity, making lines like "desks" or "cars, I don't care," iconic. Studios pushed for bigger names like Ben Affleck, but Cox's hunger for the role proved he was the perfect fit. His comedic turn showed a side of him audiences rarely saw, blending Shakespearean weight with slapstick charm. It's a reminder that sometimes the biggest stars are the ones who want it most. Number 9. The Meow Game became a real-life phenomenon. The Meow Game, where troopers sneak meow into traffic stops, is Super Troopers' most quotable gag. But its impact transcended the screen. Hockey player Ray Canisto famously played it during a 40-second intermission interview, slipping in 7 meows undetected. Fans have reported trying it in everyday conversations, from job interviews to first dates, turning it into a weird social experiment. The game's origin was pure Broken Lizard improv, with Steve Lemme revealing it was written in a single take. Its spontaneous creation and real-world adoption show how Super Troopers tapped into universal absurdity. The phrase became a cultural juggernaut quoted by fans and even inspiring online challenges. Meow, that's the kind of legacy that keeps a comedy alive for decades. Number 10, the cast played cops off camera too. Dressed in authentic trooper uniforms, the Broken Lizard crew couldn't resist flexing their fake authority off screen. Jay Chandrasekhar, as director and star, once ordered Kevin Heffernan to stop traffic on a highway with cars whizzing by at 60 mph. Heffernan, ever the team player, stood in the road like a lunatic waving down vehicles. Erik Stolhanske took it further, driving a police car at 100 mph with lights flashing, an act that's very illegal for non-cops. Chandrasekhar later bragged in a podcast that shooting a movie as a cop is great because people obey instinctively. These off-screen antics mirror the film's chaotic energy, blurring the line between fiction and reality. It's a glimpse into the reckless fun that fueled Super Troopers, where the cast lived their roles a little too authentically. Number 11. Studios wanted Affleck, but Broken Lizard held firm. With a $1.2 million budget, Super Troopers was a risky bet for studios who pushed for big changes. They suggested A-listers like Ben Affleck for key roles and even a different director to replace Jay Chandrasekhar. Broken Lizard wasn't having it. The troupe marched into meetings as Chandrasekhar told AV Club, declaring they'd write, direct, and star in their own film. This DIY ethos was non-negotiable, even if it meant turning down Hollywood heavyweights. Their stubbornness preserved the film's raw, unpolished charm, which became its calling card. Rejecting Affleck for their own quirky ensemble ensured Super Troopers stayed true to its indie roots, proving that sometimes saying no to studio meddling is the key to a comedy classic. Number 12. The shooting range was a prison hellscape. The scene where troopers goof off at a shooting range feels like typical Super Troopers madness, but the location was anything but typical. It was filmed at Fishkill Maximum Security Prison's Range 80, with actual inmates screaming obscenities from their cells nearby. Steve Lemme later shared that the prisoners' taunts created a surreal, hostile vibe. The cast had to stay focused while firing prop guns, all while convicts heckled them like a live studio audience from hell. The choice of location added gritty authenticity to the scene, but it also put the actors in a bizarrely intense environment. Imagine nailing a comedic take with hardened criminals as your critics. It's the kind of chaotic backdrop that makes Super Troopers feel like a fever dream brought to life. Number 13. Jim Gaffigan was Heffernan's audition rival. Jim Gaffigan's cameo as Larry Johnson, the driver in the Meow scene, is comedy perfection. But Kevin Heffernan wasn't thrilled about his casting. Gaffigan had a knack for beating Heffernan out for roles during auditions, creating a friendly but real rivalry. Heffernan admitted to a grudge, but Broken Lizard cast Gaffigan anyway, knowing his deadpan delivery would kill. It did his bewildered reaction to the Meow Game as a highlight. Years later, Heffernan buried the hatchet, and Gaffigan appeared in another Broken Lizard film, The Slammin' Salmon. This behind-the-scenes tension adds irony to the film's theme of trooper camaraderie, showing that even the cast had their own playful rivalries. Gaffigan's performance proved he was worth swallowing pride for. Number 14. A prequel dream that never came true. In 2006, Jay Chandrasekhar pitched Super Troopers 76, a prequel, following the Troopers' fathers in the groovy 1970s, complete with shaggier mustaches and retro pranks. By 2009, the idea shifted to a sequel set 3 months after the original, focusing on a US-Canada border dispute. While Super Troopers 2 hit theaters in 2018, the 76 prequel remains a tantalizing what-if. The concept of exploring the Troopers' dads with their own brand of hijinks would have been a wild addition to the Broken Lizard universe. Chandrasekhar's vision included period-specific gags like disco-era uniforms and vintage cop cars. The unmade prequel shows how rich the Super Troopers world is, where even scrapped ideas spark fan curiosity. It's a testament to the troupe's boundless creativity. Number 15. Funny or Die saved the day. Before Super Troopers hit, Screen's funding was a hurdle. Enter Funny or Die, the comedy website that saw gold in Broken Lizard's irreverent humor. They provided crucial financial backing, helping the $1.2 million film get off the ground. This partnership was a lifeline for a project studios doubted given its low budget and unknown cast. Funny or Die's involvement highlights Super Troopers' grassroots spirit fueled by comedy insiders rather than Hollywood cash. The film's success, driven by word of mouth and home video sales, proved their bet was right. It's a reminder that sometimes the weirdest projects need just a few believers to become cult classics. Number 16, Improv was the secret sauce. A huge chunk of Super Troopers' dialogue was improvised, born from Broken Lizard's college-honed comedic chemistry. The shenanigans scene where Mac and Thorny trade barbs was written in one take and never edited, per Steve Lemme. This spontaneous approach gave the film its raw, unfiltered energy, making it feel like a group of buddies messing around. The cast's improv skills, honed at Colgate University, allowed them to pivot on a dime, creating lines like, "I'm freaking out, man," on the spot. The process wasn't without chaos. Multiple takes were often derailed by laughter or wild tangents. For a low-budget flick, Improv was a secret weapon, turning Super Troopers into a comedy juggernaut that feels alive with every viewing. Number 17, Vermont's real highways set the stage. Super Troopers' lush Vermont highways and small-town settings aren't just pretty backdrops. They ground the film's absurdity in reality. Shot on location in Vermont, the film captured the state's green, sprawling landscapes to make Spurbury feel like a real place. The opening scene with its high-speed chase was filmed in an actual Vermont police station, adding authenticity to the chaos. Broken Lizard's college years in the Northeast inspired the setting, with many gags drawn from their own road trips. The choice to shoot on location wasn't just aesthetic, it reflected the troops' commitment to making the Troopers' world tangible. It's why the film's pranks feel like they could happen on a rural road near you, blending absurdity with a touch of New England charm. Number 18, two actors were really tripping. During a Comedy Central airing, Steve Lemme tweeted a bombshell: two actors were on mushrooms during one scene. He didn't name names, but fans speculate it was the moment before the shenanigans line where the Troopers' giggles seemed suspiciously authentic. Broken Lizard's stoner humor roots, forged in college, made this less shocking, but no less wild. Filming while under the influence added an unpredictable edge-blurring performance in reality. The actor's commitment to the bit chemical assistance and all captures Super Troopers' reckless spirit. It's a reminder that the film's chaos wasn't just scripted, it was lived. Just don't try this at home, or you might end up seeing Johnny Chimpo in 4D. Number 19, the cult status took time to brew. Super Troopers wasn't an instant hit, grossing $18.5 million domestically against a $3.25 million budget. Critics were harsh. Roger Ebert called it patched together, and A.O. Scott dubbed it bad and tasteless. But the film found its audience through word of mouth and home video. It earned $60 million from VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray rentals, plus $10.6 million in sales by 2006. Fans discovered it on cable, quoting lines like "Lighter O Cola" until they became comedy scripture. Its slow burn rise shows that Super Troopers' heart beat loudest long after its theatrical run, proving that cult classics don't need instant fame, just devoted fans and a lot of shenanigans. Number 20, a real border bust sparked the plot. The film's drug smuggling plot, with its monkey-stickered marijuana stash, has roots in reality. Jay Chandrasekhar got the idea after being pulled over for speeding and charming his way out of a ticket. This encounter inspired the Troopers' prankster vibe. The monkey sticker came from a friend's college story about a drug bust at the US-Canada border, where a bizarre sticker marked the stash. Broken Lizard wove these real-life snippets into a tale of incompetence and redemption, making the plot feel both outlandish and grounded. It's a love letter to the absurdities of real life, filtered through the troops' anarchic lens. Every time you laugh at that monkey sticker, you're laughing at a kernel of truth from Chandrasekhar's past. And there you have it, 20 weird, wild facts about Super Troopers that peel back the curtain on its chaotic creation. From syrup-induced comas to real-life drug trips, this film's journey is as unhinged as its troopers. So next time you're quoting Meow or craving a shenanigans burger, remember the madness behind the comedy. Keep those mustaches proud and stay shenanigansing.